You wouldn't build a house without a foundation, so don't build your business without one. This is Mindset Monday, where we lay out the tools, frameworks, and mindset you need to scale your contracting or trading business today. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It is Monday. You guys know what time it is. It's time for Mindset Monday. I'm your host, Gerritt Bake, here in conjunction with our good friends at Contractor Plus, exclusively my man, Justin. What is up? Here we are now entering the third week of October. Can you believe it? Weather's officially changed. I can look out my window here, and now we've got red leaves on the trees. We had snow on the mountains. There's still a little bit left, but we still a little bit of snow on the mountains. So yeah, here we go. All in on fall, as they like to say. You guys know the drill. If you're here live, go ahead and drop your name, your business name, and where you're from, and we'll give you the good old shout out. So far, all we've got is ground fog with the hand wave. So we'll give you one back. Appreciate you. This last week was kind of an interesting week for me for a couple different reasons. One, I taught 3 classes around teams and then also around project management. Plus, we've got 2 projects and now potentially a third one starting on our construction management company. I'll tell you, this morning was also exciting because we're looking at, just in one project, the potential of about $3.5 million of the work. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how do you get a $3.5 million job? Well, I don't know, because I haven't gotten it yet. So I'll let you know when I do. But I'll let you know how we got the opportunity. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So we got a couple folks here. We got Super Goatman 66, All Pro GC Development. Welcome to the show. Jeff Bloom with Driftless Property Solutions. Welcome. We got Joe Gidding with Tennessee Valley Power Cleaning out of Maryville, Tennessee. Go Vols. Ooh, they had a rough weekend though. Yeah, I do like Tennessee. In fact, that's one of the stadiums I want to visit. Justin and I were just talking about Ohio State though. So there's that. Well, let's get into it, right? The whole idea for today's conversation was the 3 things that guarantee profit on every job. Now, it's funny to hear that, isn't it? The 3 things that guarantee profit on every job. Because the truth is, we all want to be profitable, right? The problem is that in our mind, we think that making money is the same as keeping money. You remember if I told you that at the beginning of this conversation that we're pretty close to potentially landing a $3.5 million job. Now, what's the context of that whole thing? Well, it's an apartment complex over 2 stories of commercial. It is going to be in the Salt Lake area. The total budget for the job is about $12.5 million. So we're only going to take off about a quarter of this project. Now you're like, well, why not go after the 12 million? Well, my friend, because I am smart. I am smart and realize where our limitations are. I am smart in realizing that I don't have the team to take on a $12 million project. So if I did, what would happen to my profits? They wouldn't be there. So we're really excited about that. But I want you to understand how we do things, okay? Because could I sit here and spew theory and potential out to you guys? Yeah, sure, all day long, right? But you guys hear that. The truth is, you need to understand how to do it yourself, okay? So let's go through some data. I love numbers, right? Some data. On average, contractors end up with about 3 to 7% net profit on their jobs. 3 to 7%. Now think about that for a minute. You're like, but my bank account shows otherwise. Oh, I guarantee it shows otherwise, right? But revenue does not equal gross profit. Gross profit does not equal net profit or net revenue, right? When you're talking about wanting to make money, your mind has to shift and stop saying, I want to make more money. Your mind has to say, I want to keep more money. Think about that for a minute while we got Edward with ES Handy Services out of Florida. Welcome. Joe Gideon says, Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood said it best. A man's got to know his limitations. Hell yes. Yes, 100%. So your job as a contractor is not to make money. I can't say this enough. It's to keep money. And if I do anything with contractors, the classes that I teach, the workshops that I host, the clients that I have, there's one thing that I try and hammer through. It's that. We're doing a workshop here at the end of the month. Actually, I take that back. It's going to be in December, but it's a tax workshop. And you're like, well, why do I have to go to a tax workshop? I don't want to pay more taxes. Exactly why you want to come to the tax workshop, because we're trying to show you how to keep more money, right? We got Ryan with Divine Decking out of Bakersfield, California. Welcome back to the show. So your job is not to make money. It's to keep money. Okay. So understand this. Profit is not luck. It doesn't happen by chance. It happens because you focus on it. You create it. You engineer it. Okay. Understand that if you're missing deadlines, if your estimate's wrong, if you're making mistakes on jobs, that's eating into your dollars, not the business's dollars. That's eating into your dollars. So let's get into what are the 3 reasons why you're not making money, but more importantly, the 3 things you can do that will guarantee you profit. Number 1, and most important, you have to know your numbers. You have to. We, part of this project that we're bidding right now, we had 4 framers submit their numbers. Most of them were around the $1.5 to $1.7 million range for the framing. It's a 7-story building, right? It's a big building. We had one guy, and this is a framer that I've used. I know him. I've used him on multiple projects. He's working on one right now for us. He came in at $4.5 million. Now, what does that tell you? If the 3 others are around 1.5 to 1.7, and he comes in at 4.5, what does that tell you? He doesn't know his numbers. He doesn't. In fact, I won't even use his numbers when we submit our bids. Why? Because it guarantees I'm not going to land the job. Does that make sense? We've got, make sure I'm saying this right, McDarian Givens, or Givens, Elemental Mechanical. So welcome to the show. He's from the PHX. You guys are finally experiencing some cool weather, which is great. So think about this, right? Most contractors lose money before the job even begins. And this is on the bidding stage. You don't understand what your true cost is per hour, your labor, your overhead, your materials. You don't understand what your target gross profit margin is. And your markup strategy is pathetic. In fact, you're probably mixing markup and margin. Okay. 80% of contractors, listen to this number, 80% of contractors fail to hit their target profit margins. 80. Because they're guessing instead of calculating. Right? So think about that. I don't care how good of a hustler or grinder you are. I don't care how many hours you work a week. If you don't have accurate numbers, your hustle will never make up the difference. Never. So think about that for a minute. Okay. If you're not accurate with your numbers, you're not going to make money, which means you're not going to have any money left over, i.e. keep money. That's the biggest struggle that I see contractors face. So we're going to give it to you down and dirty, super simple. Most of you guys are under 7 figures. I get it, but this works even for you guys over 7 figures. Number 1, most important, you have to be accurate at calculating how much time is this going to take, right? Some of you guys have multiple crews, which is great, but they don't function the same. Okay. Now, if you're paying piece rate, that's a different conversation for another day. But for now, let's just assume you need to know your guys. How long is it going to take them to get done? If you estimate 3 hours on a water heater and it takes 5, you just eaten 2 hours worth of labor rates and overhead. Where's that coming from? You guessed it, your profit. So you have to get really good at estimating how much time is this going to take. Now, rule of thumb, I always estimate an extra 20%. 20%, right? So if I'm looking at our numbers and we think framing is going to take 2 weeks, Well, guess what? I add another 3 days to that. Well, why would I do that? Well, because I want to know that I'm bidding a number that will guarantee I have the profit left over at the end of the day, period. We got Edward here. He's a handyman. Same thing, right? If replacing a door usually takes an hour, make sure you've got enough in there for 2, because you never know. You never know, right? It doesn't matter what you're doing. Always make sure that you have your numbers built in the front end. So labor, you need to know how long it's going to take. Materials, you need to be accurate in understanding what your material costs are going to be, whether you're working with a supply house or you're running a Home Depot. Shameless plug here. Version 2 of Contractor Plus has an AI element for helping you estimate. Just saying, might help you. Okay. So number 1, labor. I need to know how long this is going to take so I can determine what my labor rate needs to be. Number 2, I need to know what my material costs are so I know what it's going to cost me to get the materials for this job. And then number 3 is your overhead. Now, this is where people get all kinds of sideways. Let's not get crazy. Okay. Let's not get crazy. So I'm going to give you a super simple way for you to figure out your overhead that you can charge on your jobs. Number 1, add it all up. Now, what is overhead? Well, that's everything that's not directly related to a job. So you've got insurance. Okay. You've got maybe people that work in the office. Maybe you've got an office. You've got vehicle expenses, right? All of these numbers. So you need to take all of those numbers, okay, add them up. That's going to give you a number. And let's just say, for the sake of simplicity, we're going to call it $5,000. Okay. What you're going to do is take that labor rate, or excuse me, that overhead number, $5,000. This is how much it cost me to run the business. Okay. Outside of running jobs, $5,000. You're going to divide it by the number of working days in a month. On average, contractors work 20 days a month, Monday through Friday. Okay. Which means your daily overhead expense is $250. I'm super simplifying this for you, but if you can get this, you can do it with your own numbers. So that means if it's going to take me a day to replace a water heater, not only do I need to account for my materials, not only do I need to account for my labor, but now I need to account for my overhead expenses. So if I was going to charge, and I know these numbers aren't right, if I was going to charge $2,000, okay, then I need to also account for the extra $250 overhead that I'm going to experience in that day. Okay. Now, if you want to be safe, then charge an extra $500. What is that doing for you? That's making sure that your expenses are taken care of so that at the end of the day, your net profit is at or above where you need to be. Okay. I got to do this. Daniel's found you. Welcome, Daniel, back to the show. Edward says, I always overestimate. Customers love paying less than the estimate. Yes, they do. But again, Edward, say this for you and for everyone else. Your estimate is your estimate. If you want to give money back, so be it, but don't give money back that belongs to you. In other words, that's part of your profit. Okay. So take this and run with it. This is going to help you guys make sure that you're making the right amount of money. So on the back end, you can keep the amount of money that you want to keep. Okay. Number 2, control equals profit. Control equals profit. A lot of you guys are what we call solopreneurs. It's you. You probably heard the term chucking a truck. That might be you too. You might have your cousin Vinny, right? Or maybe you got a couple guys on you, right? Most of you guys are smaller. And so you can handle the people. Okay. But understand this. Okay. You have to control your jobs. Why do I say that? Because being a business owner is not the same as being an employee. Being a business owner is not the same as being an employee. We've all been employees. What does an employee think about? Well, how am I getting my dollars today? And then as soon as I'm out, I'm either grabbing a beer, I'm hitting the park with the family for a soccer game, I'm going to go to a ball game, I'm checking out. And owners can't. 24/7, 365, right? So think about this, okay? Your job is to control your job site, which is also your people. Employees need 3 things. Number 1, they need to be challenged, okay? They need to be challenged, right? Like, hey, we got to get this job done today. Number 2, they need to be educated, right? How are we going to do this thing? And number 3, they need to be rewarded. I can tell you from experience, not saying you have to do this, but I can tell you from experience, the best people we've ever had work with us are the ones where we say, hey, here's the job that we got to get done. We anticipate it's going to take a day. If we get done sooner, I'm going to pay you the same rate. Wait a minute. I can get off work an hour early. I can get off work 2 hours early. All I got to do is make sure I bust my ass on this job. Say less, right? So think about this. Your job is to control that job site. So I get it. Not everybody's motivated by that. Okay. But what you have to understand is it's your job to control it. Okay. And the only way you control it is by setting up clear expectations, setting up clear accountability. Okay. Think about that. How many of you guys like to be in a job and assume that people know what to do and how to do it? And then the day ends and you didn't get done what you thought you were going to get done. Whose fault is it? Well, it's yours. We want to blame them, but it's yours, right? You weren't controlling everything. I can't tell you how many contractors I talk to. I'm like, hey, you got a Home Depot Pro account? Yeah. What about Lowe's? Yeah, that's great. How often are you guys there? Oh man, they're there like every day. I'm like, you're losing money. What do you mean I'm losing money? You're losing money, right? Because they don't have the materials on the job site or on the truck. So then they're running to Home Depot, which is costing you not just the extra for the materials, but it's also costing you the rates that you're paying your guys to do all that, which, let's be real, they're not in a rush, right? So all of a sudden, the money you thought you're going to make on your job, you're not making anymore. Whose fault is that? You guessed it. It's yours, right? So think about this. If you don't track it, you can't measure it. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. You have to stay on top of your guys. Okay. Now, coming back to this last little topic here, I want you to understand something. You don't get paid for what you do. You get paid for what you finish. Let me repeat that. You don't get paid for what you do. You get paid for what you finish. Most contractors lose money on that last 10%, right? When I teach a class about project management, we talk about this thing called scope creep. And people are like, ooh, sounds interesting. I'm like, it's not. You don't want it, right? What is scope creep? That's literally when you go in, you have a specific scope of work. Mrs. Jones, we're going to repair your water heater or replace your water heater. And then you end up, you fixed your faucet, you cleaned out her disposal, you snaked a drain. Oh, and you did the water heater. You were there longer than you anticipated you were going to be. And you didn't charge her for the extra stuff because Mrs. Jones is such a nice person, right? You're losing money. You're losing money on that last little bit. Worse, your guys, right? They don't follow your change order process or you don't have a change order process. Could be one or both. Whose fault is that? That's yours. That's yours. I can tell you that I've got a couple clients that have been sitting on for the last few weeks, anywhere from $250,000 to $450,000 in unpaid bills. And it's not because the job is done and the client's not paying. It's because the job isn't done and there's either punch list items that still need to get done and you haven't made it down there to make it, to get it done, or because there's material delays, or because the subs did something, or because of, let's just insert anything here, right? So you want to make more money on your job, but you haven't finished the job and finished it right. Okay. So I'm going to tell you this. You want to finish strong. Okay. You want to finish strong. So make sure that you're walking the job before you walk the client through. Why? because there's going to be stuff you probably need to fix. The last thing you want is a bunch of blue tape everywhere or a bunch of things that the client wants done right or redone. Okay. You do the walkthrough first. Number 2, walk through with them and make sure that they're satisfied. Number 3, collect payment. Now I get it. If you guys are doing commercial jobs like we are, you're not collecting payment immediately. Totally get it. But if you're not, you're working with a contractor on a residential job or you're working with a homeowner, collect payment, period. Don't distract it. Don't delay it. Get paid. Okay. And the last thing, and this is the thing that contractors don't do, and I know this because I work with hundreds of them, job cost. How do you know you actually made money on a job? Well, go back, determine what your labor costs were, what your material costs, any other permits, fees, subs, whatever fees, your overhead expenses, and then see what's left over. No longer will you wonder why Monday you had a bunch of money in your account and Friday you got nothing. It's all on you. Listen, as we wrap this thing up, I just want to hammer this thing home to you, especially as we're going into the winter months. Quit focusing on making money. Focus on keeping money. It will change your business forever. You won't take on jobs that you shouldn't because there's no profit in there, regardless of how much you grind. Your employees will stop doing work that you're not going to get paid for because they know it's going to come out of their paycheck, right? You will know the next type of job that you do, water heaters, for example, instead of charging this, you should charge that in the future, right? Again, make money is one thing. Keep money is another. And I want you guys to keep as much money as possible because I want you to create the business that allows you to live the lifestyle that you want to live. All right. That's all we got for you today, except for this little bonus. We're opening up our BuildPro community. So if you want access to training, to tools, to a library, to experts that we have inside of our community, you're here. You're part of Contractor Plus. We would love for you to join us. So you can drop me an email, let me know you want in, and we will send you an access code so you can get into the community. So let me put my email in here. I need a shorter email. Ooh, error occurred. Was this stream deleted on YouTube? That'd be why nobody can get on mine. But send me an email. We'll make sure that you end up inside of our community. It's free for now, so take advantage of this while you can. But other than that, you guys know what to do. Go out, quit just focusing on making money. Start focusing on keeping money. All right. You know what time it is. Time for you to get after it. 3, 2, 1. Off you go.